Seth. Good morning. Seth is eating Rhea's, what do we call this again, Rhea?
It's called apple dapple cake. It's pecan apple.
Holy mackerel.
They didn't make it out of the studio, Rhea. Are you kidding me?
Seth, me and John ate it earlier today also, man.
The last thing I needed at 9 o'clock in the morning.
The first thing I needed at 6:30 today. I loved it.
It felt like it was sort of healthy, though, because there were the apples in there.
Stop it, John.
Yeah.
Stop it, okay? The good try.
Fruit, just a little bit.
There's the apple, but then, John, there's the dapple.
Yes, thank you, Joe.
I think the
dapple is,
The next time I'm going to need a life-size version of that.
I know.
Dude, I already complained about not enough also.
It was
I felt kind of bad, but it was meant as a compliment.
That was just enough to piss me off this morning.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I felt, man. Seth, our football team. So I'm going to ask this question. Are they back on track? And really, I think what it means is the offense back on track? Because the defense never was off track. So how do you feel big picture about the offense and what it means for the team?
Well, the defense has had some games there, where you could say they were off track for a little bit. I think they've righted the ship. Listen, I love what Marcus Epps is doing, for one. You don't hear a lot about him, and a lot of times,
You hear
a lot
nothing.
of instances.
Nothing.
In a lot of instances, John, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So Marcus Epps is part of what's making a difference? I mean,
I think so. Because I think
why?
Because we're a little unstable on the back end. Drew McCuba gave us, some flashes here and there and some mistakes here and there. Sidney Brown, got a shot and just, was not the answer. And
why?
Well,
mistakes,
unable to, put a throttle on how he plays. Like he's an all-out guy all the time. Yeah. And when you play safety, you can't
Just
play
out of
that
control.
way. Yeah. But Marcus Epps, man, he's a sure tackler. He's where he's supposed to be. And I think that even for the sake of Reed Blankenship, they needed stability there, because if you go back and you look, Reed's most productive years have been when CJGJ is right there next to him.
That's right. 22 and 24.
Yeah, so I think when you get a little bit of veteran leadership next to him, that's better. Dory Jackson, of course, he gave up the 40-yarder, last week, but I think up until then he had been playing very well. And to answer your question, Joe, about the offense, a lot of people are going to say, hey, it's the Raiders, hey, it's the Commanders, but I see improvement from the standpoint that they've had back-to-back 200-yard-plus rushing games, albeit 47 and 34 carries the last 2 weeks. But that's a welcome sign, and they look like the last 2 weeks how they want to look like.
I agree.
Jalen had another solid day.
Yep.
The numbers aren't going to be, astronomical. But when you look around the rest of the league, nobody said anything about Josh Allen, the MVP yesterday, the mediocre day he had passing yesterday. There's plenty of other quarterbacks who are supposed to be top shelf guys that are winning games that's not, blowing the scoreboard up statistically. So I would say that they're on track. The greatest barometer that we're going to have is the team that they're going to face this coming Sunday, because all the things, the Bills have strengths and weaknesses that kind of counter the Eagles' strengths and weaknesses. Like, I didn't know it. I believe they're the number one rushing team in the National Football League on offense, 158 yards per game.
Sounds about right. Because of Josh Allen in large part.
Well, Josh Allen and James Cook.
James Cook,
okay?
yeah.
So they're going to have their hands full there. But, on the defensive side of the ball, they're not that good of a team against the run, which plays in the Eagles.
Great.
What do you mean great?
No, that's great.
No, it's really good.
Let's take advantage.
But
that wasn't a sarcastic rate.
I was not being sarcastic.
And then at the other end,
being supportive.
At the other end of the spectrum, their pass defense, they're like fourth in pass defense, something absurd. They only give up 167
And what
yards
are
per
we
game.
in pass defense?
In pass defense, we're trending in a much better direction.
But the numbers aren't as good as theirs? Because I feel like we should be.
I think we're in the 180s, maybe low 190s. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you got to remember, John, there were some other cornerback breakdowns earlier and the Makubu breakdowns earlier that were a factor early.
I agree.
They had some weird ones.
Yeah,
there.
they have
By
got
the way,
they got
this,
a long way to come from.
That's right. That's right.
Where they were, but they're slowly but surely, 270, 275, 75, and then 220 is what they've given up in total offense.
Speaking of this Bills game, let's get to the Twitter poll question. It's not been our main topic today because, we're reacting to the game and where the Eagles are big picture. But, by the way, this is our only show this week, us as a group. So we're here today. We're going to be here Monday of next week, and otherwise we're off for most of 2 weeks. So we certainly wish everyone a good Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff. So one of the things we're getting at today, though, is should you even play the starters versus the Bills? So Twitter poll question is brought to us by Armin Chevrolet. Armin wishes their customers, employees, and all WIP listeners a happy holiday season and a healthy new year. Together, let's drive to Armin Chevrolet. The poll question, with the Eagles likely to be a 3 seed, but with the 2 seed still possible, although not very likely, but possible. Should the Eagles play their starters against Buffalo, yes or no? John, how do you think people vote?
67% say yes.
So it's higher. 84% say play this. So basically,
good.
A little over 4 out of 5 say play. But it is notable 16 are saying don't. That's not a small number. So Seth,
I feel like everyone is very concerned about the health issue.
Well, sure.
The Eagles themselves are so conservative on the health front. We got guys. We got Lane and Jalen
so Seth,
Carter
what do you make
sitting
of
out
it?
half the season for these things.
Would you can get to 2, but you probably won't. Would you play the starters?
I think that the offense is continuing to trend in an upward manner. You almost have to play them against the Bills because you got to see, is it window dressing or is it real?
Yeah, great point. The last 2 games against some subpar competition, very clearly it's difficult to really gauge where you stand compared to playoff quality opponents.
Well, here's what I'll say. To me, here's what makes it a tough call. And again, I think we all know they could get to 2, but they probably won't. Part of what makes it a tough call is there's an argument that the Eagles' offense will be better if they have cohesion and they keep working at it together and they play. And by the way, good Bills team and find out what you got and what you're saying, Seth. But then there's the argument, it'd be really nice if Cam Jurgens' back doesn't have to get mangled for 21 days. If Landon Dickerson's knee, ankle, shoulder, thigh, whatever else he's had this year, if they don't have to get touched for 21 days.
Sure.
So, I tell you, Seth, I lean toward playing the players, but I feel a lot of conflict because, I don't think in the end it's going to matter whether the Eagles beat the Bills. I think they're going to be the 3 seed. I really do. So, I mean, there is an argument. Do I want Saquon get tackled 18 times? Do I want Jalen to be vulnerable? Do I want AJ going across the middle? I mean, I can make a strong argument for not playing the guys, and I lean toward playing them, but as you can tell, I'm very conflicted here.
Man, I tell you, this mentality that we've evolved to in sports nowadays makes me want to puke in this box right here.
But Seth, they won the Super Bowl last year and they sat last week.
I hear you. That's 1 week. You're talking about 21 days. Okay? And as I sat up writing my TV show for this week last night at 2:00 in the morning, one of the things that stood out to me is how the offensive line is played. And let me just say this. There's always been this adage that from the time training camp starts, everybody's hurting. Okay? There's a difference between being hurt and being injured. When you're hurt, you can take an aspirin, you can get you a Toradol shot, John, or you can just straight up,
that works a little better. The Toradol works a little better than aspirin.
Or you can straight up just, tough it out, okay? When you're injured, injury prevents you from doing what you normally do at 100%, okay? And I was always told if you're on the field, that means that you can play. If you're hurt, if you're injured, then go sit down somewhere and get well. If you're hurt, suck it up. Everybody is hurting, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, 21 days, Jim. I mean, Joe. Geez, I just went through the whole alphabet, didn't I?
The J names.
You know, all of you guys are here.
We're all here, so yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Well, James is a fake Jim, but okay.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of Jalen's now.
The problem is there's been inconsistency on the offensive line all year long, and I get it. There's injuries,
But they can't even push right now.
man, I'm telling you, they can't get under defenses anymore to move them.
Do you think the defense made the adjustment? Like,
I don't
because there's only two things, Seth, on the tush push. Either the Eagles' injured offensive linemen aren't as effective, or defensive coordinators figure something out, or both. Which do you think it is?
I think that they can't move the line because they can't get underneath. Like Cam Jurgens, his back won't allow him to get down. And,
Well, that's part of what I'm saying. Give him 21 days. That's part of the argument.
And get underneath. Neither can Landon Dickerson.
Part of my argument.
I mean, Landon Dickerson
Seth,
runs.
James, part of my argument.
Landon Dickerson runs like
Don't pull me into this.
Landon Dickerson runs like the Michelin Man. I mean, he looks like he's laboring.
He looks
as he runs. He looks like he's a little heavy, John. To me,
you think so? Yeah,
Oh,
I'd say so.
100%.
Hey,
Yeah.
when it looks like the passing game, it almost is moving too fast at times for him. The swapping off stunts and things like that. Yeah, I think he needs to.
and he was phenomenal. I
Quicken up a little.
don't know if you guys saw that block last year. They ran a TE stunt on him last year, and he did a 360 and blew the end coming up down inside.
I'll
I mean,
bet.
I've never seen
Time
that
it
before.
up right, and
but
you have his strength.
his
Bang.
movement right now is nothing like that. You know,
Yes, I agree.
And I'm not sure. You know, Tyler Steen. A lot of people think he's played okay. When I
don't
watch
know.
him play, he doesn't. He's not imposing, and he's not.
I want
dominant.
to move. I want to move when Lane comes back. I want to move Fred Johnson to right guard, Lane to right tackle.
Well, they can't do that.
Why?
They can't do that for depth purposes. Plus, if you've noticed, they have not been able to, run their 6 offensive lineman set since Lane went down. They tried it with, with Opeta, and it didn't
Matt Pryor
work.
it was.
It didn't work at all.
Yeah, that
Pryor
lasted
can do
a
it.
couple plays.
So that brings
That's what the teams are doing everywhere.
That brings that formation back, when he's healthy. And I think that Lane next to Steen makes all the difference in the world. Because Lane will look at him like, hey, man, get your ass in motion. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. We got to make this block. It's a lot different when you have a future Hall of Famer and a guy that's, been there, won 2 Super Bowls next to you telling you what to do. But right now, I see him like laying on people instead of trying to drive people. And that's a problem. The most aggression I've seen was that little dust up the other day. Is the most aggression I've seen out of him all year. And Jordan Mailata, one more second.
Is he
Jordan,
hurt?
I don't know. I've never seen him play the way that he plays. I mean, he had Bobby Wagner dead to rights in the hole, and Bobby gave him a little head fake, and he ran right by him, and Bobby made the tackle. And I mean, I got nothing but respect for Bobby Wagner, but my goodness, you talk about. It blew my mind because Bobby doesn't move well, and if I was the Eagles, I'd be game planning him in man-to-man situations and zone situations all day long. And Jordan had a blow-up shot and he ran right by him, and I'm like, what is going on? I mean, he gets pushed in the backfield with guys that are like 100 pounds less than he is. I'm like, anchor yourself and sit down, man. What is going on? Like,
that happens with consistency.
I mean, Jalen's trying
and
to
that's
throw the
happening
ball,
on the right
and-
side with
and
consistency also.
And some
So you got
250
to collapse
pound
the pocket all
Yeah.
the time.
Jalen's trying to throw the ball, and some 250-pound defensive end, outside linebackers pushing out 350
Bull
pound.
rushed him into
just
his lap.
right into his lap.
It's been a weird year. I think
So when you talk about should they get some time off,
Right.
I'm like, no, work through what you need to work through and get your mind right.